That's I know exactly when to start the podcast, because guess what? Were the first words picked up. Okay, so yeah, as Aileen said, we are ready for Bagel Time. It is episode 3 of Bagel Time. Tell the listeners what we're gonna be having today as far as bagels go.
We're gonna be having a sugar frosted bagel today
with pink frosting. It's a giant bagel,
and
actually.
Sprinkles.
You can buy it at Universal Studios. Some people call it a donut, but I think it's bagel shaped. And it's pretty big.
It's pretty acceptable.
You don't even need to toast it. It's so good. So I will go and cut up some pieces, and we'll leave.
I think you should try baking it.
Oh my gosh. Why would you bake a donut?
What's a donut?
We are not going to commit to this joke, just so you know. There's no way.
Okay, fine.
So we're having...
Why wouldn't you bake a donut? It's fried and then you bake it, so it's healthy.
It's the other way.
And it's gooey.
That's just how it works, right?
Yeah,
if you bake it, it's healthy. If you fry it, it's unhealthy. So just make sure you bake it after you fry it, and then you can classify it as healthy.
Anyways. So, go ahead and make your
What do you mean
donuts.
Our last podcast wasn't funny? Hold on. We had the whole TV bit.
What funny was
the
there?
TV.
There was nothing funny in that bit.
Yes, there was. The fact that you turned on the TV was funny.
Well, I guess. But that's like a small gimmick, haha, funny, you know?
Right, but we talked about... whatever.
Anyways,
we just
ahead.
had an interesting conversation about how... the Thanks for Watching show might be tonally dissonant from what we originally intended. She pointed out to me, that podcast wasn't funny. And I went, well, what does that have anything to do with it? And I just realized our podcast may have turned into a funny podcast. And that was totally not the intention.
Yeah. Or at least, distinct. Each episode has something going for it. Which I guess you could say last one was a TV epised.
Well,
or a movie episode.
Right.
No.
The thing is that we've recorded so many movie episodes that we've thrown to the ground. And that is something that I definitely... So to us, I guess it feels like we've done this 5 different times. But we've done this 5 different times not good, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Well, this time we had a lot of things to say, I guess. I don't know. I like to think of that show of being whatever. And so that way things can be different a bit. Otherwise, if we just talk about Barbie stripper kicks all the time, then...
Or subjects of similar value.
Right. I kind of have a hard time of thinking of fresh things. You know, we didn't talk about any of the things that Mom and Dad wanted us to talk about.
Well, that could be in our next podcast.
Well, actually, one of those I was going to talk about. So, we were going to... Yeah. The Mom specifically requested that we talk about what is it that makes a donut so good. Why do people like eating donuts? I don't know if she asked this genuinely. Maybe she did. I don't think she's
that
a
you
donut.
can talk about.
Right. So as I get up to cut us some more donut and milk, Aileen, would you go ahead and take over this question?
Why do donuts taste so good? Well, I mean, it's fried, and fried things just taste good. It's I don't know what makes fried food so good. What is it chemically, or physically that makes frying foods good?
I mean, I think she wants answers, not questions. This is a very Socratic way of answering this question.
I mean, for most foods or some foods, you get this nice kind of crust when you fry things. So I'm thinking of meats. I'm thinking of fair foods where you get crunchy. And I guess oily is part of it. I'm thinking of fish, and you get this nice kind of fish oil.
Is that really what you enjoy about a donut, though? I always.
I love fish oil in my donuts.
I mean, really, I don't think of a donut and think, oh, that's fried food.
And not all donuts are fried. Well, I mean, it's this combination of... It's a cake. I mean, it's the sweetness with this, doughy, cakey, kind of... Not bland, but balanced kind of taste.
But what makes it more ubiquitous than any other type of pastry out there in American culture?
What makes it more... than something like a Danish or
a muffin.
a muffin.
Or even cupcakes. It's more, as far as pastries go in America, there is no greater pastry than the donut.
That's a good question, because we see donut shops everywhere.
Yeah.
As we just went to the beach. And we see, although donut shops do serve other pastries and stuff, the main central focus is the donut. I mean, it's not as... It's a very portable kind of pastry, I guess.
Well, that's true. And it's not very... Well,
and it's not messy.
Other than the ones that are filled.
I mean, but still, you put it in your mouth, and if you're not too messy of an eater or too careless, you can just take a bite of it, and it's in your hand.
I guess it doesn't need a wrapper.
Yeah.
Like a
really.
muffin would.
Glazed donuts, I can kind of argue about that, and powdered sugar ones, because, the sugar kind of flakes off and falls. But for the most part, yeah. Something like a croissant, for example, will definitely flake off and be messy.
Right, and there's not much to a croissant. Is very doughy without flavor, I guess. It tastes like some really good ones taste like butter.
A good croissant will be very buttery, yes, and very light.
But even crappy
and airy.
donuts are good, Even on a bad day, donuts are great. Have you ever had a bad donut?
Well, I mean, you know those donuts that you buy in a store that are pre-made, right? Not the ones that they make themselves, but the ones that are packaged. What is it, Hostess?
You don't like Edam's donuts?
They're kind of artificial.
But they're still good.
Still eat them, yeah.
That's what I mean. No matter.
They're just so sugar packed, though. Which is part of the appeal, is that, it's kind of sugar and we like sugar.
Eat your donut, by the way.
I don't know. Okay, time for you to talk.
Yeah.
And state your
Well,
manners.
I mean, that goes without saying.
Uh-huh.
That's another interesting thing you kind of learn if you work with other people often in your radio show, is you have to learn when to take cues. Because those poor guys will not really pick up on that stuff.
Really?
So, yeah. I mean, even you're pretty experienced, but you still haven't fully developed the repertoire of it's a trust that takes, I guess.
I mean, sometimes I do stay quiet just for comedic effect.
Well, yes,
or
you're very fond of that joke.
But anyways.
So as far as donuts go, you know what? Honestly, I was crapping on Aileen for answering the question with more questions, but I am at a loss. I thought this topic would be it's very interesting, but I thought it would also be a lot easier and more opinionated, but I don't know. I guess it's just it's easy to make, I guess. Anyone.
Is it?
As far as think of how many mom and pop shops there are of donut shops.
You're right.
That's the only kind of mom and pop business that I can think of left.
Chinese food.
Oh yeah, okay. But okay, this is a very American thing, Mm-hmm. And so it doesn't have to be in low income areas either. You have low income and high income be these mom and pop shops that are donut stores, and people love them. People talk about Seaside Donuts, and that's all the way in Newport. And that is as mom and pop as it gets.
Huh, that's interesting. They're famous.
Yeah.
People would just go out and be like, hey, let's get some Seaside.
And there's just a donut shop on the beachfront. I mean, everyone likes donuts. Who doesn't like donuts? I don't know anyone who doesn't like donuts.
Probably someone who doesn't like sweets in general.
Right. So the only way you could not like donuts is if you don't like sugar.
Do you like donuts?
I do.
See, Nick likes donuts. So that's 3 out of the 4 people in this apartment that like donuts. Yeah, what is it that you think makes donuts so ubiquitous compared to any other pastry? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it has to be a fresh donut.
Oh, so it's got to be fresh.
Yeah, what is it, Krispy Kreme?
Yeah. You know what? And I guess donuts lend themselves is that since they're made so quickly, they can be fresh at multiple points in the day.
Yeah. Unlike
a croissant, which you have to spend a lot more time on, I think.
They're just baked.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I thought this would be a lot simpler of a question as why do people like donuts, but it's more fascinating than I gave it credit for.
And why is it such an American thing?
That's true.
How did the donut come about? Is that an American thing?
I feel like it's a very American thing. Like, I feel like the stereotype type. Look at this way. Our law enforcement is ubiquitous with donuts. Our American law enforcement.
Well, yeah, that's a stereotype. It's our policemen are eating donuts every day. And where did that come about? Like, what media spawned that? Or what TV show or whatnot?
I have to wonder, yeah.
It's like a meme in a sense, you know?
Right.
It's a cultural thing.
So a donut is a type of fried dough confectionery or dessert food. The donut is popular in many countries.
We know what a donut is.
A sweet snack that can be homemade or purchased in bakery. Okay, let me see.
So donuts do exist in other countries. In their own ways.
So there's all about the shapes, the rings. Wikipedia is very clinical. It really is made for.
It's like it's written by aliens.
Well, it's written for aliens.
Yeah.
You know, if they find it and manage to translate it, that way they have a useful encyclopedia to everything. Which is a great tool. Origins. While food resembling donuts have been found in many ancient sites, the earliest origins to modern donuts are generally traced back to the Oyek. Dutch settlers brought them to early New York. So
interesting.
Yeah, so it was a small. So their origins come from a Dutch food, and that came into New York. So donuts were developed as an American thing. That is fascinating. And so sometimes the table was graced with immense apple pies, or sauce was full of preserved peaches and pears. But it was always sure to boast of an enormous dish of balls of sweetened dough, fried in hog's fat, and called donuts.
I guess it is easy to make, huh?
Yeah,
you just make dough and then you fry it or bake it or whatnot.
And you don't have it doesn't take very long. Yeah. The name oily koeks was almost certainly related to the oily koek, a Dutch delicacy of sweetened cake fried in fat. So yeah, pretty simple. It's simple stuff. According to the anthropologist Paul R. Mullins, the first cookbook mentioning donuts was an 1803 English volume, which included donuts in the appendix of American recipes. He also traces its origins. So yeah, it's very much something that developed in an urban environment of New York, as an American thing.
Interesting.
And it's really stayed that way. Every city has a donut shop. They have to.
Right.
What city doesn't have a donut shop? Irvine has a donut shop.
Yeah, I don't think that's really something that's...
Irvine is the most plain businessy, non-family city I can think of, and we still have Mag's Donuts. It's still a mom and pop donut shop around here.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the chicken or the egg. Maybe it's how can you not like donuts? Yeah, like what would you have to do to avoid being exposed to donuts at an early age where you would love them?
Have a gluten allergy.
Yeah, that would do it.
You know.
I wonder what gluten-free donuts taste like.
Well, they use gluten-free flour.
Are donuts even made from... Yeah, it's a floury kind of thing.
Yeah, it's flour, or I guess wheat.
I am looking at the article. I really should be able to tell you. So that's... Sorry, I was reading for the dough, D-O-U-G-H-N-U-T.
Right.
The dough.
No.
The D-O-N-U-T developed...
Is that a different thing?
No, but the word, the etymology.
I see.
Known print use of donut was in Peck's Bad Boy and His Pa by George W. Peck, published in 1900, in which a character is quoted saying, Pa said he guessed he hadn't got much appetite, and he would just drink a cup of coffee and eat a donut. There's that coffee and donut thing. Yeah. So that was just a pairing. All this happened naturally, and this was before you had mass media like movies,
right?
And you had radio, but I wonder if that did anything to spread that. I think it just might have been something that developed in each individual city. So it's a food that's so good that it just naturally, without help of anything on its own, just spread. And its natural flavor pairings spread as well.
It's fairly standardized, though. Like, you don't really have regional varieties of donuts, do you?
No, you're right. And that's because I think it's so simple. How could you...
Right.
How could you vary it?
Apart from trends, like,
That's why your mom and pop...
candied bacon donuts.
That's why my mom and pop donut shop in Elk Grove is going to be the same mom and pop donut shop in literally every city. Because I don't think there's a lot of variety, other than maybe the frosting differing or how much glaze you decide to put on. Very small stuff. I just can't picture it as being anything else other than that. So, and as well as pink boxes. So, in the U.S., especially in Southern California, yes, donuts are always sold in the pink box.
Yeah.
I don't know
That's a
why,
very standard thing.
I don't know why I bothered to explain that. I don't think there's
well,
anyone...
maybe someone international is listening who has never had a donut.
Yeah, someone
in
international listening to our podcast. That's very funny. In the U.S., especially in Southern California, fresh donuts sold by the dozen at local donut shops are typically packaged in generic pink boxes. This phenomenon can be attributed to Ted Ngoy and Ning Yen, refugees of the Cambodian genocide who transformed the local donut shop industry. They proved so adept at the business and in training fellow Chinese Cambodian refugees to follow suit, these local donut shops soon dominated native franchises such as Winchel's Donuts. Oh my gosh, are you telling me donut shops were like the nail salons of Cambodia?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Wow. So that they totally, one couple was so successful at being donut makers that they trained their friends to say, hey, come to America and make donuts.
Maybe that's
killer.
Why they're so standardized.
Well, in Southern California at least. So...
Like, I heard with Chinese restaurants, they have, like, this startup package, basically. Like, you know how they all have the same boxes, the same menus?
Right.
Everything? Like, even down to the food itself?
Yeah, businesses...
Tastes the same?
Businesses...
Yeah, like, they just have a startup kit.
Businesses start up, because that's more customers for business people.
So I wonder if donuts have the same thing, where they just, like, have the same stuff. Because,
yeah, it's got to be coming from one company that caters to these kind of people. Initially desiring boxes of a lucky red color rather than the standard white, Ngoy and Yen settled on a cheaper leftover pink stock. Pink. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
so they wanted
it's less dye.
So they wanted to set themselves apart from all the white boxes and make it a lucky red color, and that was too expensive, so they settled for pink. That is hilarious. And so it's no other reason other than ubiquity. And of course, that happens to be that pink ended up actually being the color. Well, psychologically, it's the color that men and women will tend to buy from.
Really?
If something is pink in a grocery store, men are more likely to buy pink unless someone's looking, in which they'll pick brown.
That's funny. I never heard of that.
But yeah, I mean, a pink box is very appetizing. I can agree with that. I see that pink box, and I don't immediately think donuts, but I do think there's something good in there. I mean, even things that aren't donuts are put in pink box. Like cakes are put in pink boxes now as well, I think.
Cakes?
Yeah, from bakeries.
Yeah, I think so. Or white boxes.
Yeah, but I see a lot of pink, and whenever white boxes, whatever, there could be a hat in there. But when it's pink, I know there's something sweet, and it's going to be good.
Yeah, it's pastry.
On success of their business, the color soon became a recognizable standard. Due to the locality of Hollywood, the pink boxes frequently appeared as film and television props. Okay, so because they were popular in Southern California, everyone showed donuts being in pink boxes in television and film for years and years to come. And so the rest of the nation caught on, even though this couple's business didn't reach that far.
So TV helped with that.
Yeah. And there's a couple different ways you can make donuts. There's cake versus yeast style.
Right.
Where some are raised and some are not.
Which you like cake style, right?
Oh, yeah. I am definitely more of a cake guy.
I like both types.
Man, I like my traditional donuts. They have like a crunch to them, you know? Wow, this article goes into the molecular composition.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
About how the molecules are structured. Are they donut shaped? Is that what you're asking?
No.
Oh my gosh. Hey, you know what? Speak of the devil, there are regional variations.
Oh, really?
But they're not in the States, I don't think. Here, let me read you a
couple
off
I
the
see.
top.
International.
In South Africa, the Afrikaans variation, known as the kokister, is popular. In another variation, similar to the name, Cape Belay, being soaked in spice syrup and coated in coconut. It has a similar texture to more traditional donuts.
Interesting.
A further variation is vetkoek, which is also dough deep fried in oil. It is served with mint, syrup, honey, or jam. So in Tunisia, kind of like, I guess you could say beignets are like a variation of donuts.
Yeah, you could.
They're
just fried dough. I mean,
yeah.
Donuts are very simple.
So I guess there's one, but it's just there's for some reason if you stray too far, it stops being a donut.
What's with the hole in the donut?
You know what? Let me. Here there was a bit on that. So ring donuts are formed by one of two methods. I know that. Tell me when. I think they just Traditionally, donut holes are made by frying the dough removed from the center portion of the donut. They are considerably smaller.
Well, that's a donut hole.
I think they just always have been.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
I thought they just took a lump of dough, like a little ball, and then tossed it into the fryer.
Oh, here it is. These donuts closely resembled later ones, but did not have their current ring-size shape. And then it never goes into it again.
Wow.
Oh, wait. Hanson Gregory, an American, claimed to have invented the ring-shaped donut in 1847 above a lime trading ship when he was 16 years old. Gregory was dissatisfied with the greasiness of donuts twisted into various shapes in the raw center of regular donuts.
Oh, okay, so for cooking purposes.
Right, so it didn't cook very evenly.
Yeah.
And so that's why.
I see.
He claimed to have punched a hole in the center of the dough with the ship's tin pepper box and to have later taught the technique to his mother. Smithsonian Magazine states that his mother, Elizabeth Gregory, made a wicked deep-fried dough that cleverly used his son's spice cargo of nutmeg and cinnamon along with lemon rind, and put hazelnuts or walnuts in the center, where the dough might not cook through, and called the food donuts. Well, okay, she didn't invent the word donuts, but another theory on their origin came to light in 2013 when a recipe for dough nuts was found in a book of recipes and domestic tips written in 1800 by the wife of Baron Thomas Dimsdale. I'm dead serious, like from Fairly Odd Parents, Dimsdale. Oh, sorry, never mind. The recipe being given to the Dowager Baroness by an acquaintance who transcribed for her the cooking instructions of a local delicacy, the Herefordshire nut. Anyways, so that's all I could find about donuts. I think we've now enriched everyone's lives a little bit better. Wouldn't you agree?
That's interesting.
This podcast is not
educational
about nothing. It's educational. All right, and so that'll do it for Bagel Time 3. I didn't decide on a subtitle this time. What is a good subtitle? What are good 3 movies? You have Return of the Jedi. You have, what was the third Back to the Future called? They didn't have titles, actually. They were just a 3, I think.
So then that's what we can do for ours.
Oh, Judgment Day. There it is.
Back to the Future?
No. That's the third Terminator movie. Terminator 3, Judgment Day. So this is Donut Time 3, Judgment Day.
Okay.
Thank you for listening.
It's not donut time. It's bagel time.
It's bagel time, yeah. Sorry, bagel time.
Thanks for watching
Judgment Time. No, it's a bagel shapes.